welcome back to my channel RJ Trades. If you have not, please don't forget to like and subscribe. In this video we're going to talk about option exercise assignment, how that works. And seems like people are confused about how assignment or exercise works, so we're going to kind of deep dive into it. So right now we are looking at the Nvidia option buy call option chain. So I have an option 535. As a buyer, basically in call options, you have a right to exercise the option at that strike price at any time before the expirations, including that expiration. So 535, right? So you can exercise if you have this call, just one call, you can exercise it anytime. You won't get assigned because you bought, so only you can exercise. If you sold it, you may be assigned. If you bought it, you cannot be assigned, right? So this one you can exercise it anytime. But why would anyone exercise if it's not 535, right? You don't want to exercise this right now because it's 525. You can buy the share at 525.93 cents in an open market, but if you want to exercise you have to pay 535 because that's what your contract says, right? So you don't want to exercise this. You'll be losing the difference times 100, right? That's an option. It's 100 shares, so you don't want to exercise that. On the other hand, what happens, let's say what happens if you are in the money, you have two options. One thing, you can sell your option as an option, as a contract itself. You can sell your contract to somebody else. Basically when you sell your contract, if the price reaches 535 or something, the cost will be more, right? Since it's an option, it has a time value, intrinsic versus extrinsic, so it will be more. So you could just sell the contract to somebody else. On the expiration date, if you are in the money and let's say if you want to buy the stock at that price, you can do that too. Some people do that, they just want to buy hold that stocks, right? So you can do that too. Otherwise, a lot of the times, right, let's say you have a calls, and a lot of the brokerage, what they do is, if you are at least a 1 cent in the money, which means 535 plus 0 1. So if the stock is 535.01, they will exercise. If you have a underlying if you have a money to buy those, because you to exercise this option you need 53,500. If you have that money, they will exercise. If you do not have that money, they will sell out the options. Robinhood do that at 3 p.m. on the closing date. So you guys probably noticed, like, maybe a lot of the options were for sale by Robinhood. That's why it's happening. Now let's look at the spread, right? This is 535 buy, so let's look at the 545 sell. So what happens in this case, this is the debit spread with the $10 width, so your max profit will be 1000 minus 315 in this case, right? On the day of the expiration. So exercise and assignment, mostly, I mean, you can exercise at any time, but there's no point in exercising before the expiration since you have a time value, so you will be losing on money on that. You can sell the option, then you get the money more. So here two legs, you have a buy 535 and sell 545. If you are not in the money, if you are not in the money for, then this option is worthless. Basically cost is zero at the end of expiration date. So if you are in that stage, usually that's why I do not hold unless something is deep in the money. So you are better off selling maybe day earlier or even in the morning. At least you could get something, right? Even if you get like $15 out of the 315, you got something instead of but if you are in the money, right, let's say if you are in the money, if your both the legs are in the money, if it's 545 plus, usually most of the brokers, what they do is they'll exercise both the legs. They'll exercise 535, they will buy it 535 and sell at 545. That's why Robinhood shows negative balance, cause clearing takes some times. I'm not sure why they are still showing negative, because since they are buying and selling, but it's just option clearing corporation, OCC, clears all the options, and they clear usually at midnight, if I'm correct. They clear at midnight. That's why you get the confirmation next day. You probably have noticed that. So if both the legs are in the money, you'll get max profit. Both the legs are exercised, so you don't need to worry about it. If one leg is in the money, right? Let's say one leg means 535 plus maybe $2 or $3, whatever, right? The other leg you sold expired worthless, so nothing to do about that. But for this legs, what they do is if you have enough money, they will exercise it. But if you don't have enough money, they will close out this call. So you get whatever. Let's say if it's a uh, $2 or $3 in the money, you'll probably get $3. You will get 3 point something, right? So depending on what's the price is, they will close it out. Yeah, but there is always a risk. Sometimes, like after hours, right? What happens is uh, what happens is like after hours they have until 4:30 time. So sometimes what happen is somebody, maybe you are in the money and get out of the money, or vice versa, right? So for me, I usually do, I don't let them kind of do it on their, unless if both the legs are really deep in the money, I don't need to worry about it. But if they are in borderline, right, let's say 5:35, 5:30 or something, so it may kind of go down or up. And options usually people's have up to usually up to 4:30 CT for expiration date to make a final decision. So they will get the extra 5:30, so extra 1.5 hour basically. So I have seen that happen, and a lot of times even if you are out, it was being exercised. And I've actually personally felt that one time on Nicola or something, when it tanked, I was assigned. So I could have closed it before, but I let it expire. So that kind of backfired me. So they have a little bit time, so I think it's a good idea to close yourself. Yeah, that's about it. And you can kind of Robinhood has a page about details about that. You can go and kind of details. And if you have any questions or comments, do write it below. But that's it for today. Thank you.